Yes, we are back. We are live, and we are live for the Monday Night Raw post-show. Raw has just gone off the air live on Netflix from Brussels, Belgium, on the road to WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania continues. The European shows continues, which means a good time to actually watch these shows live. And, well, this was a big one. This was a big episode of Monday Night Raw. In fact, it's probably the episode of Raw, or just episode of WWE television, that everyone's been waiting for ever since Elimination Chamber. That's what people have been waiting for. They've been waiting for the John Cena promo. They've been waiting for the John Cena explanation. Why, John, why? Why did you turn heel? Why did you attack Cody Rhodes? Why did you sell your soul to The Rock at Elimination Chamber after you just won the Elimination Chamber match, after you just punched a ticket to the main event of WrestleMania, and you're going to be facing Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship? Many people were wondering why, and they were waiting with bated breath, and tonight we got a few answers, but not all of them. Now, if you were going into tonight's episode of Raw hoping to see a completely different John Cena, you did get that, because this was a version of John Cena that we haven't seen really ever. We've seen a heel Cena, we saw the Doctor of Thugonomics Cena, but this was a jealous Cena. This was a spiteful Cena. This was a bitter John Cena. This was an angry John Cena. And we haven't seen anything like that. And if you were hoping to hear new music, see new attire, we didn't see that. But that's because John Cena didn't want you to see that. He doesn't want to give the fans any more what they want. And that's going to be really the majority of this post-show, is really talking about that promo. Because for me, the Monday Night Raw has been around for over 30 years, 32 to be specific, 32 years this year. There have been a lot of great moments, a lot of great promos, a lot of great matches. But I will tell you what, I think that John Cena promo, that segment, that crowd, the way that he just hit line after line after line, you know, moment after moment after moment, made sure the entire crowd was booing him, because sometimes when you turn into a heel, you turn into a bad guy, they like you more. He even pointed to the people in the crowd, effectively, the people that are wearing my shirt, I don't want you to wear my shirt. Yeah, you're just as bad as the people, the Let's Go Cena people are just as bad as the people that say Cena sucks. It was an all-timer, an absolute all-timer, and we have to remember, John Cena is retiring at the end of the year, not at the end of WrestleMania. So that evolution, that change in his character, that change in his gear, that change in his music, I think that's still to come. But I am absolutely fascinated to see where this one goes. So be sure to smash a like on the like button. We've already got 40 people through the door. Let's get to a quick 20 likes. We're already at 15 likes. Let's see if we can get to a quick 20, 30, 40 likes. Click the like button, and also be sure to subscribe as we're on the road to 20k. Let's just get straight into it, because this Cena promo is really what everyone's going to be talking about, aren't they? They're going to be talking about this John Cena promo. They're going to be talking about, you know, what was really just a very, very, I don't even know where to begin with this John Cena promo. And there you can see, right there, John Cena comes out, and we see Cena come out, as I said, same entrance music, same gear, different reaction. You know, usually we'd have the John Cena come out, Stu, let's go to work, that kind of thing. Didn't necessarily see that. Cena came out, he still held up his towel. The last time is now, and I did wonder what would happen with that, because he has all of this like individual merchandise being made for all of these cities, and I thought, I wonder how that's going to go. I wonder what they're going to do with that. So he came out, usual gear, didn't run to the ring, and it must be said, this isn't a surprise, obviously, but that crowd was electric. I mean, we know the European crowds are going to be electric, but really, that crowd was absolutely electric. First ever live television broadcast that WWE have ever done in Belgium. Crowd seeing John Cena for the last time as an active in-ring performer, and they were booing the shit out of him. And that, I think, was a concern for some people. Some people's concern, legitimately, and I suppose it's a very valid concern, is can you get a crowd to boo John Cena at this stage of his career? I mean, throughout his whole career, we'll touch on it because he touches on it. Throughout his career, he got booed out of a lot of places when he was a babyface. But it was one of those ones where at this stage in his career, Is he actually going to get booed? Does the crowd want to boo him? And they were all in the same way that they were all in when he was a babyface. And it's let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Because the chant's fun. The chant's fun. And actually now it's Cena's challenge, I suppose, to those people that are chanting let's go Cena. Let's see if we can cut that down as much as we can. When he made his entrance, they were singing along John Cena Sucks to his theme pretty damn loud. So they booed him out of the building. So much so that, as you can see here, for the opening part of this segment, and the segment was a long one. The segment in totality was nearly 30 minutes in length. I think about 25. And it definitely had an effect on the later portions of the show because I think time was definitely cut because they still tried to get it to be 2.5 hours long. Triple H likes these Netflix shows to be 2.5 hours long. So because of that, definitely matches, particularly like Jey Uso, time got cut from people's matches. No doubt about it. But it was so worth it. So worth it. And for the opening part of Cena's promo here, it just didn't say anything. He didn't need to say anything. And that is when you've got them. Right there. Do you know what's right there? Palm of your hand. That's exactly where John Cena had that crowd. And that's what happens when you've been around on television for 25 years. 23, whatever. But you get my point. The best part of 25 years, you've been around on television as the guy, the top face, the face of the company, the ultimate baby face. And you go away, you don't even see him that often anymore, and you can just manipulate that crowd into anything. Everything John Cena got out of that audience tonight was totally by design. He played that Brussels crowd like a Belgian fiddle, okay? That's exactly what he did. And for the opening 5 minutes, he just stood there. Didn't need to say anything. And that is a top level performer. And I know John Cena in the ring isn't what he used to be, but he still has always been one of the greatest promos of all time. And actually, for as much stick as John Cena gets, he can't work. He can work. And as many people have pointed out, a worker isn't necessarily just a person in the ring. A worker makes people buy tickets. A worker makes people works people to get emotion out of them. And that's exactly what John Cena did in this promo tonight. He just stood there. Look at that shot. That shot right there. The iconic Cena attire. Still wearing the shirt. Still wearing the baseball cap. Still wearing the wristbands, the jorts. In 2025, the knee pads. Even John Cena socks with his sneakers. And he just stood there on the WWE logo with the entirety of 8,000 people in Brussels just raining down boos onto him, and he didn't even need to say a single word. John Cena sucks. You sold out. And for a second, when this is going on, I was thinking maybe he just won't say anything. Maybe they'll do that kind of thing. Maybe they'll do that kind of segment where he tries to get the microphone up, and every time he gets the microphone up, they boo and he goes down. And I did think for a second, maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to do that kind of thing where he can't even get the words out. You remember when, I think it was when Randy Orton was feuding with Edge heading into WrestleMania 36, and it was after he attacked him, and he then came out on Raw, I think the next week, and he just basically went, I can't even say it. So, but he stands there, even threatens to leave at some point. He even threatens just to walk out because the crowd are booing him that much and they won't let him talk. And because when he got into the ring as well, he's kind of shrugging. What do you guys expect? What do you guys think? See there, he's looking at the crowd with total disdain. Still on his hat, it says "Rise Above Hate," even though he hates the people and he hates the crowd. And you see the sellout crowd there in Brussels, again, just showering with boos. And eventually, he does give his reasoning. Eventually, he does give his explanation as to why he did what he did. Now, someone, this is on Fightful.com, hat tip to them for actually transcribing the entire promo because it's worth saying here. So this is what he said. When someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. He said that for 25 years, he's been the victim of an abusive relationship. He said the crowd bullied him and expect him to be their puppet with a smile. Now, this then led to "fuck you, Cena" chants, which were censored, which is a bit disappointing. And because by all accounts, that's not a Netflix thing. That's a WWE thing. By all accounts, Netflix have given WWE full control over production for Monday Night Raw. WWE can do what they want. Now, maybe it's a case because other parts of the world, they're still having to adhere to certain television stuff because it's not on Netflix everywhere. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. So, but maybe that's why. But loud "F-U Cena" chants. Now, he said, "I'm not a babyface. I'm not a heel. He's breaking the fourth wall, brother. Kayfabe. It's been dead already, but Cena just exhumed its body and punched it square in the face and then urinated on it. But it doesn't matter." He said, "I'm not a babyface. I'm not a heel. I'm a human being." Yes, I'm a human being. He said, "Each and every one of you has been awful to me. It's been the same damn noise for 25 years. And he said to the crowd, they let him know what they thought of him from the start, and he changed himself, which worked for a little, but it wasn't enough. He said he worked hard and he started to win, and win. He even then said, with a smile on his face, "I won a lot and you hated it." Now, he's stated multiple times that no matter what he did, it wasn't enough. Now, the crowd responded by chanting once again, "Shut the fuck up." Cena said he was going to walk away. He just wanted one last time to get along with everyone. He's been doing it for 25 years, but the crowd ruined it. He said, quote, "Just like every moment, for 2 seconds it was great, and then it wasn't enough." The crowd responded by singing the "Na na 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 hey hey goodbye" song to Cena, who said, "You're just proving my point. No matter what I do, it's never enough, and you should be ashamed of yourselves. Each and every one of you take, and you only care about yourselves." Cena said the crowd only cared about what do we get, and no one asked him how he feels. What do you get? You get nothing. He says, "You get what you have earned. You have earned nothing." And he said, and this was, I thought, actually a really smart line here. We'll get to Cody Rhodes coming out in a second. This was a really smart line. Because I mentioned at the top of the watch along, I thought, are we going to get new music, John? He spoke about it in 2012. Well, when he was going to turn heel possibly in 2012. He was feuded with The Rock, WrestleMania 28, once in a lifetime, became twice in a lifetime. Last year at WrestleMania came 3 times in a lifetime, which is a lot. But he was going to turn heel in 2012, and he said he had new music made up. He said he had new gear made up. And once he turned heel at Elimination Chamber, people thought, right, next time we see him, he's going to come out wearing, the shirt or wearing like a suit, maybe. That's what's going to happen. And that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a thing. And he explained it actually wonderfully. Wonderfully, he explained this. He said, "You're not getting a new look." He says, "You're not getting new music because you dress like him. It's his song and his time is now." Effectively going, "I'm not going to change for you again. You don't deserve it. Why should I change? Why should I give you what you want?" Now, I think when it comes to this, he will change. I think we have to remember here that there's still plenty of time. There is still a lot of time for this to evolve. We saw last year with The Rock when he turned heel on the road to WrestleMania. Every week was a bit of an evolution. Came out old Rock wearing the shirt. That evolved into the vest. Then his entrance evolved. Instead of just "If You Smell the Rock" walking down to the ring, started off with the lightning bolts coming out. Then that turned into the lightning bolts remixed with, the 2003 Hollywood heel theme. So it's going to come. I think it will. It's still going to come. But it was a good explanation tonight because I think, even though I expected it, I think they made the right move. You don't give everything away straight away, do you? Why debut everything just at once? Just straight away, here's new music, here's new gear, here's do this. You've still got time to WrestleMania. And also, you've got time post-WrestleMania. You've got the rest of the year. John Cena isn't retiring until December of this year. And I actually think he's going to turn back babyface and go back to its old version of Cena before the end of the year. But I think that's an interesting choice, and I think it's a wise choice. Let it continue to play out. We've got 83 people watching, which is great. We're at 36 likes. See if we can get it to 50. A reminder, you can subscribe. Do so, and let's get to the road to 20K. Now, the crowd began chanting for Cody, who Cena called the brand new shiny toy. He said he could identify the Let's Go Cena people by their shirts, leading to another Let's Go Cena and Cena Sucks chants. Cena said the Cena Sucks people have already proven themselves to be awful. The Let's Go Cena people were also awful. What did you ever do for me? All you've ever done is steal from me. You steal my personal moment and time. You have made me a joke. He even said he's sick of the invisible jokes. He said, you make the invisible jokes for 15 years that you still think are funny. It's not funny. It's pathetic. And I thought, wow, John, now you're just plain shooting. Now, this isn't even a work anymore, because it's not. The where's John Cena thing, bloody hell. You know, that stopped being funny a long, long time ago, didn't it? You know, John Cena, where? John Cena, where? I can't see him. He's right. I thought he's meant to be a heel. He turned back babyface when he said that. He said fans don't wear his shirts for support. They do it to make themselves feel good. He said he lives hustle, loyalty, and respect, and he is the definition of never give up. You use it as an excuse for your pathetic life. All you've ever done is sit on your ass and watch me be great. And Cena said he's breaking up with everyone and getting out of the toxic relationship. You know I'm right, and you know you're wrong. So he broke up with us all. I felt like Nikki Bella. You know, he broke up with us all, and Cena's right, we are wrong. And that was, before we get to Cody coming out, Cody comes out next, it was an all-timer promo by John Cena. John Cena is one of the greatest promos of all time. He is. I know when you think about promos, you'll think about lots of people. Jake the Snake, you know, CM Punk, who else? There have been amazing promos throughout The Rock, Steve Austin. John Cena is absolutely in that category. He is. And this isn't just because of this promo this evening, because he hasn't cut a heel promo for like 20 years. But he has always been. There's a reason people shit their pants when he says fine speech and, you know, straightens his cap. Because he can just eviscerate anyone on the microphone. He's done it to everyone. He's done it to The Rock. He's done it to Roman Reigns. A few years ago, maybe that's why the Austin Theory match felt so flat, is because going into it, John Cena just killed a man on Raw with his promo. He is one of the best promos ever. And he continued that this evening with a brilliant promo and played that crowd like a fiddle. And they booed the hell out of him. Now, this led to Cody Rhodes coming out, which, I'm going to be honest with you, it did kind of rub me the wrong way that Cody came out and was smiling, high fives, really, really happy to be there. This guy turned on you a few weeks ago. And just a few weeks ago on SmackDown, you were there with your black eye and you were livid. And Friday on SmackDown, you're meant to do Miz TV. You came out, you hit the Miz straight away, hit him with Crossroads and says, I don't want to do any more talking. I just want to see John Monday night on Raw. And then he comes out, high-fiving everyone, pyro promo. I was like, babyface. You know, I one of those sort of annoying babyface moments. But it's all right. He gets in the ring, and he's there, staring face-to-face with John Cena. Makes his way to the ring, and Cody said fans may have given Cena their worst, but they also gave him their best for 25 years because Cena was special. He could take it, and he could carry it. Now, John Cena tried to interrupt. He said, listen, kid, but Cody cut him off. He said, I'm certainly not a kid. It's WWE champion. And he then said, who the hell are you? Which already I can see the remix in the WrestleMania promo because, of course, that's exactly what Kurt Angle said to John Cena when Cena made his debut on WWE television in 2002. Who the hell are you? Then John Cena would reply, John Cena, and then he goes, ruthless aggression, you know, slap. You know, that's going to play into it. So there was a very specific line there. Cody said he was excited to go face-to-face with Cena, but instead he got this. And he said this better not show up to WrestleMania because he will run John Cena over and retire him early. He said, go find John Cena. I want to wrestle him at WrestleMania 41, not this whiny bitch. Oh, because you know, in wrestling, when you say bitch. Oh. So Cody left the ring to the chant of Cody Rhodes, leaving Cena standing alone. Now, after, again, he said this, Cena just stood there and once again just got booed, walked out, and they waved him goodbye. Which, you think about it again, think how wild that is. That is the last time that the country of Belgium will see John Cena in a ring as an active in-ring superstar, and they cheered as he left and waved him goodbye. It's terrific, isn't it? Absolutely terrific. I thought it was a brilliant segment. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant segment. I am fascinated to see where this goes heading into WrestleMania. I think it has given everything that Cena was going to be doing this year was going to be special anyway. It's the last time. He's retiring at the end of the year. But seeing something you've never seen before, seeing this version of John Cena, seeing this when you've been watching wrestling long enough, I've been watching it a long time. I watched my first WWE event in 2001, right? So that's 24 years, nearly a quarter of a decade. I've been watching wrestling a long time, and people in the chat have been watching it longer than me. You feel like you've seen it all or a lot of things, and you have after that amount of time. But genuinely not knowing where something is going in a good way and being entertained by it, that's the magic of wrestling. What you saw in that opening segment tonight, that is the magic of pro wrestling. The magic of pro wrestling is, it's a work. You get those haters, it's not real, right? Macaulay Culkin face. It's not real. Of course, it's not real. The same way that I know when I'm watching a Marvel film that there isn't a giant purple man coming from outer space, snapping his fingers and half the universe disappearing because everyone was still in the theater with me when he did that. But the ability to get lost in it, the ability to get lost in what you're watching, not believe that it's real, but just get lost in the story, be hooked on what everyone's saying, get hooked on what everyone's doing, believe that one person's going to win or one person's going to lose, and go, I tell you what, I can't wait for what happens next, so I'm not sure where they're going to go. That's magic. That is the magic of wrestling, and that opening segment was magic, and I'm really interested to see where it goes next. I don't know what episode Cena's booked on next. I don't know if it's Raw next Monday, I forget, but it's very, very exciting, and I thought that was excellently done by Cena. Obviously a little bit of Rhodes in there, but it was mainly Cena. It was excellent stuff. So next, we got the no holds barred match, and someone pointed this out in the live chat of the watch along, and it's so true. A no holds barred match that didn't really feel massively no holds barred between Penta and Ludwig Kaiser. There were weapons used and what have you, but it was just sort of a glorified no disqualification match. A good match though. Crowd was certainly massively into it. And by this point, we hadn't seen any action. We were 40 minutes into the show. I'm not going to complain too much because, again, the opening segment was just that good. It was incredible. But it was a good match. A lot of action outside of the ring. Some action on the announce table. Penta in the end gets the victory. Penta driver, 1, 2, 3. Good match. Crowd enjoyed it. It's probably the biggest development, and we see this continue throughout the show. Kathy Kelly there asked Penta what's next for him. And now that Ludwig Kaiser's firmly in the rearview mirror, and Penta says he wants to go for the Intercontinental Championship. And I actually said during that match, during the watch-along, I tell you what, with Penta, you could kind of see that Intercontinental Championship looking good around him. And it was good to see him cut a promo in English too. His English is actually a lot better than I think people think. And we'll get to the end of the show. I probably should talk about the Intercontinental Championship maybe at the end of the show. I'll talk about it at the end of the show, considering spoilers if you haven't seen it, I suppose. So Penta gets the victory in a good match against Ludwig Kaiser. We then go backstage to a segment involving the Judgment Day. More tension. This was a bit weird. So the Judgment Day are there. Finn Balor comes around, and Finn Balor's like, thanks for getting me the Intercontinental Championship match, Dom. Really appreciate that. You're a good guy. And then Dom goes, well, I'd like to bring something else up. I've had a bit of a thought. And Liv Morgan goes, maybe you shouldn't bring this up. I've been thinking about adding another member to the Judgment Day. I've been thinking about adding Penta. And naturally, the viewer goes, he's a babyface. He's not going to join you. That's bizarre. And you see at the end of the show, he's not going to join you. But Finn Balor says, you're a snake in the grass, and then leaves. And there's dissension there. Something is brewing at that point, which again I think factors into the Intercontinental Championship as we move forward. We then had a match between Ivy Nile and Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai picks up the victory in that one. There was the Creed brothers at ringside for that. The LWO came out, got involved. Dakota Kai gets the win. We then go on to the Women's World Championship contract signing. Now, if this was any more obvious that we were going to get a triple threat match at WrestleMania, their segment near enough confirmed it. Not officially, but that is what is going to be happening at WrestleMania. They've basically done the WrestleMania 20 situation, which was a triple threat between Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Benoit. Benoit won the Rumble, but Shawn Michaels was in a feud with Triple H at the time, and they had a contract signing. Shawn Michaels came out, he super kicked Benoit, and then he signed his name on the contract and it became a triple threat. This is basically what they're doing. So, of course, Bianca Belair had won the Women's Elimination Chamber match. They both signed the contract, and Adam Pearce is like to both of them, thanks very much. It was a contract signing with no physicality, a contract signing with no violence. That's usually how these things go. It didn't go like that this time, so appreciate that. But, of course, that leads to Rhea Ripley coming out. She gets in the face of Bianca Belair, and once again, Io Sky feels annoyed and disappointed that she's being ignored. That's the annoying. She's like, I can't believe this again. Why am I getting ignored? This is bullshit. It leads to physicality. There's a headbutt to Bianca. She goes on the table, and eventually Rhea Ripley power bombs Io Sky. I wondered if they were meant to go through the table, but they didn't. They didn't go through the table. I don't know if this is a, Matthew Botchamania, I am the table situation, or just they weren't meant to break in the first place. I don't know. You never know with the tables. They've got a mind of their own. But Rhea Ripley, just like Shawn Michaels, going into WrestleMania 20, picks up the contract and she signs it. So there's now confusion. Is she in the match? Isn't she in the match? We didn't get a confirmation of it. But it's one of those ones where, that's where it's going. The surprise when Io Sky won the Women's World Championship was, I thought we were getting Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. We are very, very, very obviously getting a triple threat. That has always been the plan. I don't know if there'll just be a thing of like Adam Pearce going, well, this isn't legally binding, but because Bianca and Io both want to get their hands on Rhea, they go, we don't care, we'll just have a triple threat match. I think that's probably the direction that they're going to be going in. Right, now we get into a territory where we start trying to make up for time. As I mentioned, that John Cena promo with Cody Rhodes did go very, very long in that opening segment. Now, one of the positives of being on Netflix is that, of course, WWE, they can run for as long as they want. However, it would appear Triple H doesn't care. He still wants to have the show at the sweet spot, which she is saying is 2.5 hours. That meant Jey Uso came out, did his entrance longer than he actually had a match. I'm not joking. He came out, he did his yeeting stuff there. He faced Austin Theory. The bell rang. He hit a spear, which Michael Cole said was a crossbody because it was that high of a spear and it wasn't a good spear. And that was the 1, 2, 3. The same Austin Theory that 2 years ago at WrestleMania is opening the weekend and beating John Cena. Beating him is now losing in a matter of seconds to Jey Uso from a spear that is confused with a crossbody because it's that high and that not good. We then have a situation post-match where Jey Uso is going to do a dive on the outside, from the ring to the outside onto A-Town Down Under. And Michael Cole, a few years ago, made it his mission to constantly mock Top Dollar, AJ Francis, for his hilarious dive over the top where he didn't really get off the floor and he bounced around. They called him Flop Dollar. There's actually quite an interesting story behind it, according to Francis, where basically that's how he found out that he had problems with diabetes and he actually could have lost his leg, and it was a whole thing. It's actually a really, really interesting story. But he made a whole thing of it. Jey Uso did the exact same thing. That's exactly what Jey Uso did. After the match, Jey Uso's put on a bit of size recently, put on a bit of muscle, and apparently that means it's more difficult to get over the top rope because he bounced off the ropes, tried to jump over, and just hit his back on the apron. And I kind of worried because I thought, are we getting like a Shawn Michaels situation here or a ravishing Rick Rude incident here where they hit their lower back on something and kind of plays the end of their career? He looked to be fine, maybe in a little bit of pain afterwards, but that was that. Gunther then comes out, tries to lock in the choke as he did before. Uso this time manages to wriggle out. He pulls the championship off his waist, and he's holding it there. And that was the segment. And honestly, it was a complete waste of time. And if people have got doubts about Jey Uso's ability in the ring, and Jey Uso, they consider him to be one of those guys where it's a and then the bell rang scenario. This segment did nothing for that. If anything, it just made those feelings worse. I mentioned it in the watch along. You have to be a special kind of talent to have a great entrance, but then you've got to back it up in the ring. You have to, because the crowd go crazy. They put their phones up in the air. They're yeeting. They're making all of this noise, and it's great, and they're having a great time. But then after that, they're so exhausted, and they're such a come down from having that great entrance that you've got to back it up in the ring. It's like The Undertaker. The Undertaker, amazing entrance, fire, walking to the ring slow, lights down. It's amazing. You go, oh my God, backs it up in the ring. Daniel Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him. Well, he's Daniel Bryan in WWE, comes out doing the yes chants, the crowd going crazy, the crowd going nuts. You go, oh, yes. But he's an amazing worker, so he's going to back it up in the ring by having a great match. If the most over thing about you is your entrance and you cannot back it up in the ring, it's not to say Jey's a bad worker, because he's not a bad worker, but you got to be a great worker. And the crowd are so into that entrance that afterwards it is a bit flat. And it feels like they've run out of ideas as just to how they're going to tell this Gunther versus Jey Uso storyline. That they're trying to play it like, oh, Jey Uso, he's not going to be able to win the big one. But everyone knows he's going to win the big one because he's popular and he sells a lot of merch. And it just feels really flat. And for something, his nickname's Main Event Jey Uso, this feud has just got, again, no real energy to it at all. I would have said put it opening at WrestleMania, but I don't even know if it's worthy of that spot. Opening at WrestleMania is a big spot to have. Maybe they will, because after that, that's the best way to get the crowd into it. I don't know. But this segment just did nothing for me. Absolutely nothing for me whatsoever. We then go backstage to Rhea Ripley. She gets attacked by Io Sky and Bianca Belair. So like I said, continuing to plant the seeds for that being a triple threat match as we get to WrestleMania. We then had a tag team match where the Creed brothers face off against the Latino World Order. The LWA get the victory. Rey Mysterio hits 619 followed by a splash. But who would come in but Grande Americano? No, not a coffee, but a wrestler apparently. Now they're still playing up the gimmick. They're basically doing Blue Blazer. They're basically doing Blue Blazer, Mr. America, that whole thing where it's like someone's under a mask. Chad Gable, we know that's you under the mask. No, it's not. Again, like I said, they had that with the Blue Blazer with Owen Hart. We know that's you under the mask. No, it's not. No, it's not. It is Chad Gable, clearly. But that's what they're playing. We had Gable come out earlier on in the evening. He was ringside with the Creeds and Ivy Nile during her match against Dakota Kai. That might be actually why it was just on the show. It was more just to plant the seeds of, like, Chad Gable's here. See, Chad Gable's here. He hits a few moves and then he's chased off by security. So they're continuing to play up that. We then go into, want to talk about a pointless segment. 2 shows in a row. And this is the only thing that's going to hurt this feud, by the way. 2 shows in a row, they've done a promo segment involving a wrestler or someone involved in this CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins feud at WrestleMania. Friday on SmackDown in Barcelona, Paul Heyman came out. It was the penultimate segment on the show, like it was for this evening. Paul Heyman came out and effectively went, WWE 2K25's out today. Roman Reigns isn't here. He's going to be here next week. Tough shit. And then left. And the crowd were like, oh, I don't like that. Today on Raw, Seth Rollins came out for the longest time. The crowd were just singing his song. And he did effectively the same promo where he went, I'm here. CM Punk, you like CM Punk? You like CM Punk? Yeah, I like CM Punk. CM Punk. Well, he's not here. He's going to be on SmackDown on Friday. Oh. Roman Reigns, you like Roman Reigns? Yeah, I like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Well, he's not here either. No. They're going to be on SmackDown on Friday. And I'm going to be on SmackDown on Friday. And that's it. that was it. It was a complete waste of time. They could have literally just had a promo video and a graphic saying Seth Rollins is on SmackDown. I mean, it was good to make an appearance, I guess, but they need to step away from doing these promos in front of a crowd of people that have paid a lot of money, by the way, because those, it's a sellout, and I know for a fact those tickets are expensive because WWE is a hot ticket right now. They can charge whatever they want. That they've basically come out into these crowds and going, you know, these people you wanted to be here, they're not here. They'll be here for the next show that you're not going to. See ya. And it's like, what a waste of time. What a massive waste of time that promo is. So they're all going to be in the same place Friday. Rollins, Punk, Reigns. I don't know if they'll be in the same place at the same time before WrestleMania again. So that match is getting set up Friday. That's what's happening. So they've planted the seeds for that. We then had a backstage segment. AJ Styles talking about Logan Paul. We get Karrion Kross doing his puppet master gimmick, wearing his hair the same as AJ Styles, talking about how you're jealous because Logan Paul's got to the WWE quickly and it took you 17 years, etc., etc. So, I mean, I do like the gimmick. Again, it's very Sean O'Hare from 2003, but it's well done. And then we get to the main event, Intercontinental Championship on the line. Bron Breakker successfully defends the Intercontinental Championship against Finn Balor. A couple of close near falls, but in the end, the Judgment Day come out to the ring. It looks like Breakker's going to do a move to Balor off the top rope. Dominic Mysterio pushes Balor off, and you go, he's helping Finn, but as he is actually touching the top rope, it leads to Finn Balor falling, crotches him, then leads to the Frankensteiner. Breakker gets a spear, 1, 2, 3. So there's problems in the Judgment Day. There's more problems, there's more dissension within the Judgment Day. The show ends with a stare down between the current Intercontinental Champion, Bron Breakker, and Penta. I suppose there could be a theory to suggest that, does that mean going into WrestleMania then we're getting Penta versus Bron Breakker, Intercontinental Championship one-on-one? I don't think so. I think what we're probably getting here is, I think a multi-man ladder match. I think that we're probably going to be getting Bron Breakker, Penta, Finn, Dom, maybe... I don't think Ray Phoenix, because his vignette was on SmackDown. So I don't think Ray Phoenix. Ludwig Kaiser, maybe like Sheamus, maybe something like that. They always like to have a ladder match at WrestleMania. Last year they had it for the tag titles. Sometime they have it for the Intercontinental Championship. I think we're going to get a multi-man. I think we're going to get a multi-man. Lil Yo says AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles is facing Logan Paul at WrestleMania. So he's not going to be involved in that. It's going to be AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. So I think it'll be something like that. And I wouldn't be shocked if Dominic Mysterio wins, you know. I think just for the social media and arena and stadium reaction alone, I think that's my early prediction. Is that if Dominic Mysterio is in an Intercontinental Championship ladder match at WrestleMania, I think he wins. They'll just do it for the reaction, I think. So we shall see. But that was the post-show for Monday Night Raw. That was the show for Monday Night Raw in Brussels, Belgium. Big up King Mo's just subscribed. You can see it right there with the little GIF that pops up with The Rock with a head turn. Love that. And that was the John Cena promo. Let me know your reaction to it, your thoughts about it in the comment section below if you're watching this after the fact. If you haven't already, click the like button. We ended up over 50 likes, which is fantastic. Be sure to subscribe as well. We're currently at 19,329 on the road to 20k. My aim is to get to 20k this year for this channel. This channel was the first thing I ever did on YouTube. Started it in late 2019. And it's really opened the door and led to everything else that I do here on YouTube, whether it be United View, whether it be initially United Stand, or whatever it may be. It's led to all of that. So it is my baby that I will constantly protect and never abandon. And we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. We've got the daily news videos, which will be back tomorrow. Countdown videos. People are really enjoying them as we get closer to WrestleMania. We'll be doing a lot more of them. And a lot of watch-alongs, a lot of post-shows coming up. We're going to be doing a watch-along and a post-show for SmackDown Friday from Bologna. Won't be doing it next Monday because I'm busy, but Friday we'll be doing it again for SmackDown. We'll be doing the majority of them heading into WrestleMania. We've got big pay-per-view events coming up. AEW Dynasty will be on early April, so I'll be doing that too, and a post-show. Obviously, both nights of WrestleMania, then the lead-up to WrestleMania, post-WrestleMania. We'll be doing them all. If you haven't already as well, join the WN365 roster. More members content's coming soon. We do match rewatches on there. I'm going to move all of the gaming stuff over to there as well once I get my consoles sorted. So there's a lot going on at WrestleNews365. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in this evening across the watch along and this show. And we'll be back tomorrow. I'll speak to you again very soon. Peace.